Guys, before we get into this incredible interview with Rebecca, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who donated to my charity campaign I'm running for Game on Cancer. A lot of you came through. I really, really appreciate it. Some of you were very, very generous and some really beautiful, kind words about some of the interviews I've done with the cast. So I can't thank you enough. We have a couple more days left. If you have anything that you can give, $1, $5, $10, I'll leave a link in the description as well as a pinned comment. Go over there. We're nearly at $2,000, which is a really great result, I think. So thank you very much and enjoy the interview, guys. I really appreciate it. Well, look who we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca, it is a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show today. How are you?
I am very good. Thank you so much for having me on, Dan. This is brill.
It really is brill. And you know what else is brill? That backdrop.
I've been getting all of the compliments and I am lapping it up.
But
I
are
take
they
it, you're
fake
welcome.
plants on the right or are they real?
No, so the big one here is real, and this was real. The little tiny one, I don't know if you can even see it up there in the corner, that had to be fake because not enough light gets there, and I killed 2 plants and I was like, we need to go plastic. It was a sad day, but you know.
I love how you got the
Be a
hand
plant
over the heart.
murderer.
Oh, I love how you got the hand over the heart. Like it's a really big deal, but no.
It is.
How are you? How's your year been?
The year's been brill. It's been a really good year. The beginning of the year was super busy. Because we were still finishing off BG3. I was on 2 cartoons and 4 games plus a TV series. I'm not really sure how it all managed to fit in because now the last few months have been a little bit quieter, and I'm like, how did all of that happen at the beginning of the year? It was so much, but it was great. I had a great time.
Just like a whirlwind of job after job after job.
It was a whirlwind. So I don't really do TikTok, but I was like, oh, maybe I should start. So I made like a week in the life of a voice actor kind of TikTok video that I've put up.
I saw it.
Which was like one of my busiest weeks that I had. That was full on. And I think that was just before I then flew to Ireland to do this TV series as well. So
is that really a normal day?
A normal week? No, that was by far my busiest week.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was mental, which is why I decided to record it. I was just like, I should document this, if not just for myself, for posterity, to be like, remember that time when I was really busy? Those are good days.
Yeah, that's it now. Pack up shop, Rebecca. It's all downhill.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
You're only about to get started. Are you excited for the future? What's it like as an actor? Because you're always looking for a new job.
You are. I think it's something that you have to learn to be kind of at peace with the quieter times and just trust that something will come up, and also find loads of other things that bring you joy so you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. I had to learn that quite quickly. And so you have to learn rather than to be like terrified, to be like, oh my God, there's no work. To be like, oh, I wonder what the next thing is going to be. How exciting. Which is sometimes easier said than done, especially when it's been like a little while and you're like, ooh, yeah, I really do wonder what the next thing is going to be, universe. Come on now.
So do you have any like passion projects that you do when you're quieter or?
Yeah, I mean, now that because I started out as a film and TV actor, and so there were really quiet times, and you could get quite down, especially because so much of it is about how you look. Not necessarily like, oh, you must be beautiful, but it's more just because I look quite young as well. I'm often cast as part of families, so it's like if they've already cast the parents or they've cast your brother or whatever, then they're like, oh, well, you were the best actor in the room, but ultimately your family's all blonde, so we can't cast you, kind of thing. And it becomes so much about so many other things that aren't about how good you are at acting, which can get frustrating sometimes. Whereas with the voice, I think it's so much more about just being able to do the voice and being like a nice person to work with. And I've really found that I've made so many pals in all the various studios and with the various directors and stuff. I feel like I've got such a lovely little community now. Um, and what was the question? I'm waffling. I'm so sorry.
That's great. I love a waffler. You know how much I
Passion
love
projects.
Yeah, you
Passion
got there.
projects,
You
other
got there.
things that I do.
Yes.
So yes, I do spend a lot of time auditioning. So you're constantly having to kind of like read scripts, come up with characters, come up with voices and record them, and you never really know what your week is going to look like because these things come up so last minute. And so then when I'm not doing that though, yeah, I mean I spend a lot of time. My favorite thing in life is people. I adore people, and so I spend a lot of time with friends and whatever they need. If they're doing auditions, I'll help them or whatever. And I also do all the typical, I feel, actory things, which is like crochet and Pilates.
Do you meditate? That's another actory thing. Meditation.
I do yoga. I feel like meditation would be really good for me. And for some reason I shy away from it. Don't know why. I think it's that like try to turn off the voices in your head. And my brain's like, nope, I identify with them.
So you're a people pleaser, people person, you would say?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And would you invite friends over and cook for them, that sort of thing as well? Or
Yeah. I mean, I live in Chesham in Buckinghamshire, which is slightly further out of London. So I go in a lot for work anyway, so I'll kind of pop around and see pals while I'm in there. But every so often people will venture out into the sticks to come and see me, and then I will absolutely lay the table and make it as fun as possible for them.
And what are you cooking? What's the specialty?
So I'm vegan. My favorite thing to cook is it's really simple, but it's so good. It's like a lentil bolognese ragu, but it's made with sun-dried tomatoes and the way that I don't know. I've perfected the recipe over a few years, and it's really good.
Nice. When did you go vegan?
I went vegan 7 years ago, but I was veggie for 10 years before that.
Oh, so it was an easy transition.
Oh yeah, it was way easier. And my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, he was vegan when I met him, and he was the one who kind of he didn't really ever bring it up, but it was just when I was with him, I would just eat vegan, and then I was like, oh, I should watch some documentaries to like see what this is all about, and then I learned too much and I couldn't go back. So we're here.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you think you could be with him if he was a meat eater? I know it sounds a bit stupid, but would that be difficult?
Yeah, I think so. Not that I would. I definitely don't judge people for any of their choices.
No,
Obviously, there's also there's people that can't be vegan, like pulses and legumes or nuts and stuff don't agree with them, and you need to get your protein from somewhere.
That's me,
etc. I think it's all just about being conscious of our choices, and where we can avoid meat in a day, we do. And when we have to eat it, then it's sourcing the kind of like best quality meat that we can. I found that I can be vegan. Like I feel really good on it. And so I'm like, okay, great. Well, I'll do that then. But yeah, I think, and because I was veggie for years before that as well. It's not like I can't sit at a dinner table where people are eating steak or whatever. Like it doesn't faze me.
Course
I think if he was like constantly cooking up like chicken, bacon, stuff, all I'd be like, okay.
It's a bit much. Yeah. I get it. So you grew up in Glasgow?
Yes.
What was that like?
Great.
Sounds like
Glasgow.
fun.
It was. I absolutely love Glasgow. I love Scotland.
You miss it?
I do. I miss the people and the culture and the humor. But I toy with the idea of being like, oh, I'll go back one day. But I think all of the voice studios are in London. And although I've got like a little home recording studio, they prefer you to come in, and I much prefer going in because again, you get to just see people, you get to have a chat. Somebody else is in control of all the tech stuff. I don't need to worry about it. And I don't need to worry that my neighbor's starting to mow their lawn or somebody letting their dog out or torrential rain begins, all of that stuff that's out with your control.
So how did you go in COVID? I feel like that would have got you down a little bit.
Oh, I went insane. Oh yeah. No, it was not a good time.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
No, I felt no, it was, but yeah, I feel like I was in the same boat as so many people, and actually, in a way, you know, I think when you have that much time to sit with your own thoughts, then loads of stuff comes up that you're just like, I should probably see somebody about that or deal with that I've just been like absolutely repressing for years. And so in a way, it was great. And I went to therapy and it's always really useful to chat about all the things that are going on in your head. And I was fine. Like people had it so much worse than me, so much worse. I really cannot complain. It was fine. I had no major traumatic things going on. But it was hilarious because Luke, my husband, loved it. He had a great time. He was just like he was in his element. He just entertained himself and just found loads of stuff to do. And
Sounds like me, yeah.
he's quite happy just chilling in the house. I can have like 2 days in the house and then I'm like, all right, where are we going? What are we doing? Who are we seeing? Yeah.
So what's the biggest thing you learned about yourself over that time?
I think it probably was that I rely a lot on the kind of bigger events of life to kind of give me energy and that dopamine hit and constantly kind of chasing the next, right, okay, well, what's next? What's next? What's next? Which is great fun. And like, you know, you get one life, so you might as well cram it full of as many fun things as you can. But also it's just really important to kind of be able to sit in the quieter times, take joy in all the little things, even if it's literally like that cup of tea at lunchtime and getting to look out the window and just breathe and enjoy nature, go on a nice walk. Like life and the world is beautiful and you can find so much joy in all of the smaller things. It doesn't need to be all of these like big, sparkly, fleeting stuff ultimately. Which I think was a really good, very, very good lesson.
Oh,
for sure.
That's great. So Baldur's Gate, when did this come about? This was your first motion capture experience ever, is that correct?
This was my first voice job.
Oh,
which
wow.
is insane.
You must have been nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, whoa, imposter syndrome kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing. I was so thankful that they decided to take a punt and cast me. And it was the best. So they were used to kind of being like, all righty, so this is a T pose, this is an A pose, this is how we configure the thing. And yeah, and they were like, you didn't go back to your base at the end of that line. Okay, let's do it again. You know, they were really patient and we just had such a laugh. And then as soon as you feel comfortable, you do your best work and you pick it up so quickly, for sure.
And how long did it take you to get right into it, the character? Oh, you did multiple characters, I know that, but for Alfira.
Oh yeah, but I definitely, I think I definitely played Alfira for the first few sessions, and then they were like, alrighty, let's chuck some other stuff at you now. She came to me quite quickly. I think just it's written so beautifully that her voice is just very clear. So I think it really only took me like oh God, I'm gonna pull a number out of my arse here, like 15 minutes to find her. No, I think a few of a lot of the stuff that we did right back at the beginning, because I started pretty much just when the game had started recording. So we redid a lot of that stuff anyway, because whatever I don't know all the tech stuff, but whatever mocap thing they were using wasn't compatible with the game. It was all of these things that are,
Yeah.
that you have to work out. Snags between like Pit Stop and Larry and right at the beginning. So a lot of the stuff we recorded in those first sessions I had to redo later on anyway, which was probably great. I'm like, okay, cool. I will redo that because I've got her voice now. That's fine.
Yeah, right. I know you didn't sing the song, right? But what was your first reaction to that? Because it was quite a beautiful song and a really touching moment, and people have really connected with that song. Tell us about that.
So that was very much, I don't know if they'd always known that she was going to do this big cutaway singy song and then they just hadn't told me, or if they just decided partway through. Like it was never, because I do sing all of the bits in gameplay as you're chatting with her.
Yeah.
I sing all of those, and then it's just a big cutaway that they use Visela Dovcheva, who is a beautiful operatic singer, so no wonder they use her. Stunning. I think she was the demo track, so I think maybe they got her to sing it, and they were just like, nobody's going to beat that. Let's just use that. So yeah, I remember them. Did they send it to me beforehand, or I think they must have done. But I do remember us playing it quite a few times in the studio before we recorded it. And so it was in everybody's heads, but it was so beautiful. We all just kind of sat there like, wow, that's gorgeous. And I was like, okay, let me try not to butcher that already.
So it immediately went to pressure now. I've got to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. So just do that.
Yeah, it's that easy. Yeah. So when did you actually see the full cinematic? Was that when the early access was happening? You would have seen that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think I remember early access, being a thing, and then I just decided to do a classic little YouTube, like Alfira, Baldur's Gate 3, and then the song came up. I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I couldn't tell anybody right back at the beginning. Over when early access was released, I wasn't allowed to say that I was playing Alfira. It had to be a big announcement later, who all of the cast were.
When did you? So when could you come out? When could you come out with the announcement? Only recently.
Literally when the game was released on PC.
But people knew.
Then I deemed it safe.
People already knew, didn't they?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Only the people that went digging.
Yeah. You could dig and probably find it.
And what would you say if those lovely singer is listening to this? What would you say to her? Because I know you haven't met her. Oh my gosh,
your voice. I have not.
No.
And I'm probably pronouncing her name incorrectly, and I can only apologize for that. But my God, your voice is just phenomenal, and please just come and sing for me at my window.
And me too, while you're at it. Come down to Australia. I'll It's a short flight, I'm sure. So your gaming background, did you have any sort of clue about D&D or gaming in general or any of this stuff?
No.
You still don't?
I do.
Oh, okay.
So I've now started playing D&D as of about 5 months ago, because I was like, the game is about to come out. I should probably know. Obviously, I'd done lots of research into the background of tieflings and the character and all of that stuff, but I was like, I should probably play D&D and just kind of understand the wider world of it and what's all involved. And I love it so much now. Like, it's the highlight. So I play twice a week with my group, and it is twice a week. Sorry, I'm sorry, twice a month.
Yeah.
How amazing would it be if we had time to play
twice a week? I was going to say.
We have lots of other things to do. We try and do twice a month, and they are just such fun evenings. And now we're about to do so. Fraser Blacksland, who plays Damon, has a Twitch stream called Fraser's Forge, and we're going to be playing a one-shot campaign there on the 13th, I think, of December. So I spent the whole day yesterday writing as much stuff as I could for the character, because Jack Collard, who's our DM, he has given us like a very very comprehensive character sheet.
Wow.
So I was trying to fill all of that out. It's going to be immense. Like I don't know how you go about writing an entire campaign from scratch. His mind is just incredible. So obviously I'm like I want to help in any way I can by coming up with like as much of my own stuff as possible. But it is a lot. And then obviously you start then going down like total rabbit holes, reading all about like the entire history of the Air Ganassi. And I'm like, it's now been 2 hours. I should probably write something. It's so fun.
I've never tried it. I really do want to try it. It's just gathering the right people, isn't it? You got to get the right crew with you.
Oh, for sure. And
Mm.
I got so lucky. It was meant to be. Like I bumped into a friend who I'd not seen in about 8 years from Scotland, who had moved to London. And I just mentioned that Baldur's Gate was about to come out and that I was looking for a D&D group. And she was like, oh, I play D&D and we're literally just about to finish a campaign and start a new one. Do you want to join? It's like, yes. She was like, okay, well, you have to come for an interview first
Oh,
because
wow.
you can't. Yeah. I mean, it was like a very informal, it was just like, in a
Yeah.
beer garden, let's
Yeah.
sit and like get a vibe.
Yeah.
But like, it's important. You can't have somebody at the table that's going to, people are doing their character voices and they're like, that'd be awful.
That's what I
Get out.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to all be in it to win it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So how do you find the actual mechanics of it? Have you got your head around all that sort of stuff and the classes and the role, the attacks, everything that comes with it?
Getting there.
Yeah.
Yes. There's still times where I'm like, oh yeah, and what do I do now? And what does that mean? But the general basic, I feel like I've got it down.
Yeah.
And also my group are just unbelievably patient too. So it's not like you can't ask questions. We're playing at all. It's very much like, oh yeah, okay, so now you roll this one. I'm like, okay, do it. Yeah. It's
What
great.
about actually playing the game? Do you think that's on the cards for you? Baldur's Gate?
So I am awful at video games. Like I just annoy myself when trying to play.
Mhm.
So I've watched a number of different like playthroughs on YouTube, because I actually really enjoy sitting and watching people play who are really good at playing. Because that's really interesting and fascinating to me, rather than me going, and then what did, no, oh no, neither that, oh. So yes, and I've once work is quieting down for Luke, we have bought it and we're going to sit down and play it.
There we go.
And I will just hand the controller to him to like play for me. Okay, now do this and this. Lucky him.
So no streaming or anything? You're just going to play it you two and go through like that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if anybody would watch Alfira attempting to play BG3.
I would watch it. Come on. I think a
Oh,
few people.
thanks.
Come on. You know a few people.
We'll see. I don't know. I feel like Samantha's got that cornered with her Karlak playing as Karlak. So cool. She messaged me the other day being like, I just met Alfira. I sang with her. It was awesome. So I watched that little bit. I was like, that's so fun. Yeah.
Sam's awesome. What a great character in that game, Karlak. Fantastic. You go across the board in this game and it's just character after character fleshed out, great acting. It's like there's not a single bad egg.
It blows my mind how gigantic this game is and how many moving parts there are and how many people were involved in it. Like, yeah, I cannot comprehend it. So I'm just really thankful to be here. I'm like, thanks for having me. I'll be a tiny part of it. Great.
Well, I've got to ask you, have you seen the Dark Urge? You know what I'm going to say. Yeah.
I have.
Now, when I was playing through that, I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I'd done. My jaw was on the floor.
Yes. I feel like we recorded that pretty late on as well. I was like, wait, we're recording what? What happens? Why? It's 4 years of work down the drain. They'll never get to do any of the other stuff I'd recorded. That's so sad.
No, but that's true. Some people might only do that. I mean, some
know.
crazy people, but some people nonetheless might only do that and never see the.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, you have to reload.
You have to play
the save.
again.
Yeah, play again.
Please. Yeah. There are people have messaged me being like, I managed to like do a clever hack around it so that it didn't happen. So there are ways.
There are ways. Yes. A couple of fan questions here. Well, not a couple, hundreds, but we'll get to as many as we can. Why aren't you recruitable? This is one of the #1 questions I'm hearing. Fans want more of Alfira.
It is one of the main questions that I do.
Can you
also
speak to
get.
Larian for it?
Yeah, I'll call him up now. Like, Ben, please have me as be recruitable. Yes. I don't have the answer, and I can only apologize. I'll start a campaign.
Oh, we're going to start.
Bring her back as a companion.
We're going to start a petition. How many votes will we have to get, Larian, to get this over the line? Because we don't have a bard companion. You know, we don't have a showman.
Yeah. Yep.
My brother is playing we're doing a co-op at the moment. This is my, I think, 5th playthrough of the game. Me and him, he's never played the game. He's a bard and he's got no one to share that bond with, Rebecca, you know?
Really sad. Yeah.
At least Lae'zel.
You could do something about this.
At least he's sleeping with Lae'zel. How much were you told of what the devs had planned for the character?
Not much. I think she actually started out smaller, as a smaller character than she ended up being. I think early access had something to do with that. I think people really liked her, fed that back, and then they wrote kind of more for her, and every time I went in, I genuinely was like, oh, this could be my last session as her. Like I had no idea where it was going, but also like, because they were still writing the game as it was being recorded. So I was asking Pit Stop, like, oh, and like, what happens now? Like, where do we come across her again? And they're like, oh. And then I would just, I'd leave for like 2 months and not hear anything, and then just get another email being like, oh, they want you back, and turn up again and wherever you are. So yeah, I had no idea. I was just along for the ride.
Is that hard to pick up a character after a couple of months? Or I know they play it back in your ear probably and you find it again, but
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Is it harder to connect?
Maybe at the begging, but then after 4 years, I was like, she's here. She's here forever.
It's 4 years of work.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So no, she was super easy to like step right back into her shoes, and that wasn't a problem.
Damn, I wasn't even doing interviews.
I miss her.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
No, I wasn't even doing interviews 4 years ago. Were you excited to learn that your character was extremely beloved, likely because of your spectacular voice work and how much her death impacted players? Spoiler.
Yes. I think you can never really know how a character is going to be received. And also, as much as I knew that I had recorded so much, you're also aware that, as we've said, the game is massive and there's so many different avenues that you can go down. And so you can have like bare minimum interaction with her. And so I wasn't really sure if that was going to be most people's experience and she's just kind of very much on the fringes, or if it was going to be more than that. And if, so the fact that she has been just the fact that she is so loved makes me so happy, because I love her and I had the best time playing her. And so now, as much as now I really miss voicing her, it's so fun to then share her with the world and then have people message being like, God, I love Alfira. I just came across her, or I've just finished the game and she was such a highlight of it. Or it's just so lovely. Yeah, it's great.
When you hear that, does it make you want to go and do more?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like you kind of can't, like, I know Neil said this, he hasn't let go of the character. You know, there's still more there. He's told me, you know what I mean? He's got that feeling like I'm not done.
Oh yeah. I feel like there's so much more to Alfira that is like below the surface that's never fully explored. She can have so many other things yet to happen. Um
Mm.
and just and more of her backstory to be explored. Like that's never really gone into detail.
Is that
Oh,
something
so
you've
yeah.
thought
Oh
about?
gosh, there's so
Have
much.
you thought about the lore and the backstory yourself?
Yeah, a little bit. And I definitely had, I mean, obviously I couldn't come in with like a whole preconceived like notion of exactly where she's come from and all that stuff.
No,
And they're
no, no.
like, that's not correct. Um, so no, it was very changeable. I had to more just kind of like have a general overarching idea that could be
Mm.
molded and shaped depending on like what the script happens to be that day. I'm like, oh, okay, so cool. Um, but I had such a sense of her character. And I actually met Rachel Quirk, who is the writer for Alfira, the other day.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
and and it makes so much sense. She was just like the loveliest, bubbliest, optimistic person. I was just like, I can
Oh,
see how
you can
Alfira
see
came
it.
from you.
Yeah.
Um, but just kudos to her because my gosh, it's just such she is in no way a main character, and yet you get such a clear idea of who she is so quickly. The writing is so beautiful.
What did she say to you? I'm curious.
Um, oh, it was lovely. I just because we were at the Larian had like a kind of
Oh,
it's
party.
not as
Yeah.
a party,
Yeah, yeah.
and and somebody was just like, oh, you haven't met Rachel yet, and oh, this is Rachel, this is Alfira, and she just went. And so then obviously I went. It was all very girly. It was great.
Oh, that's fantastic. Why the heck did you steal my spear after I threw it at Marcus? That's a very specific question. Can you answer that?
I can I can only apologize for my transgression. I'm so sorry.
There you go. If Alfira wasn't a bard, what class do you think she would have been, Rebecca?
Oh, that's really interesting. She wasn't a bard. What would she have been? Um,
I can only think of her being a bard. Yeah, I can't really.
I know. A druid?
Yeah,
Um,
maybe.
maybe. Yeah. I don't think she would be. I don't think she would be like a sorcerer or a cleric or anything because she's
Mm.
I don't think she's no, it doesn't suit her. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Druid.
Is it too late to apologize? That's the question.
Is it too late to apologize? Yes, I don't forgive you. No. It's fine.
Oh, goodness me. Okay, let's shift over here. Now, you don't know I'm doing this, Rebecca, but what I've got here is a selection of photos. Okay, and I want you to give me the backstory on these photos. Would that be okay with you? So
It's
here's the
fun.
first
Yes,
one.
please. Yep.
So give us the story. Where are we here?
Okay, there I am playing Queen Maeve of Lyria in The Witcher season 2. Um, and we are at Arborfield Studios, um, which was very cold. No, it was great fun. It was the set that they had built was absolutely insane. And we had a great day. I mean, we filmed it's just this one kind of it's like the
Around the
Council of
table.
Kings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were
And
you
we are
with
kind of
Sean Dooley?
discussing. Yes, and I love
What a
Sean. He is just,
legend.
oh my God,
He's been
he
on the
is
show. He's a
the
legend.
nicest man, has he?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he's a legend.
like because I was a total newbie. Obviously, loads of people, loads of the cast around that table had been in season 1, and so they knew their characters and knew what they were doing. And I was kind of coming in like, I'm really happy to be here, and trying to not look nervous at all. And Sean just it totally took me under his wing.
Oh,
There were so many other sets in the studio and like this massive warehouse. which obviously you want to go and explore because they're incredible. But as me, I was just like, oh gosh, no, I can't do that. I'll get into trouble. And Sean was like, and so he just like took me round. And we just like walked into all of like they weren't filming in them, thank God. Walked into all of these other sets, like didn't touch anything, but we're just like, this is incredible. So and also because he's just one of those people that like even if you weren't allowed to do that and somebody was just like, why are you in here? If they saw Sean's face, they'd be like, ah, Sean, you naughty rascal, get out. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just the
He's got
best.
some cred,
So
doesn't he? Yeah.
oh yeah, he's fantastic. No, it was a shame. I get a lot of messages from people also asking why Queen Maeve doesn't come back.
Yeah.
And again, I have no control over it, and I can only apologize. I wish she did. Um,
Yeah.
but I think again, it's the Witcher universe is massive, and I think there's just so many different kind of storylines that they could have gone down. So, um, Queen Maeve wasn't in the one that they chose to focus on.
Is it? Do they operate different over there, Netflix? Is there a different feeling to production? I don't know. Is there any? Is it different to other stuff you've worked on?
Yeah, so I do prefer doing slightly smaller productions. Don't get me wrong. Please hire me for all things Netflix. Um but I guess when you're working on slightly smaller budget projects, you get a much more close-knit feel between all of the cast and crew. It's not quite as big a machine. Um
Mm.
and again, then you just it's easier to know everybody's name, know what everybody is doing, make friends. You've got more time. Yeah. So this was an intense day. Like we were filming that one scene around the table for the whole day.
Really?
From every single camera angle possible,
Wow.
um and which is also epic. And you have like the big rain machines going around and like fire, and there's something to be said for that level of production as well. It is super cool to be there, and you're pinching yourself and you feel so immersed in it.
I was going to say, you
And I
feel
would
in it. You feel like the character. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, so it's quite a daunting and intense situation to just step into, especially if you are like me. I was kind of a day player. I just came on for that day and one other day. And so yeah, it kind of hits you in the face quite a lot, and you're like, all right, we're here and we're just gonna do it.
It's full on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you mean. There's no time to breathe kind of thing. Yeah.
No.
You have no idea what images I'm going to pull up. I love this power. I love this power. Oh no, there's nothing bad.
Like, this
So
is
you
your
are,
life.
yeah, body double for Millie Bobby Brown.
I
Tell us
was,
about that.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this was back in, I'm gonna say 2018. This was before Baldur's Gate. So this was I think this was before I was a voice actor actually. And so this um it was one of those really tough stretches of time where I wasn't getting any work and I was starting to panic. Um and friend of a friend messaged me out of the blue, like, I know this sounds really weird, but can you send me like your sizes? Um, and he was like, it's for a production, and I know that he works in production. I
I
wasn't like,
know,
that's
I know.
weird.
It just sounds
Um,
strange. Yeah.
but I did, and he was like, would you come to Pinewood for like a camera test, basically, to see if you would be able to double for Millie Bobby Brown. And I was like, will I come to Pinewood? Yes, I will. Um, so I rocked up. I had to learn a scene, like I had to almost audition. Because I think what
Wow.
they were looking for, Millie was still 15 at the time.
Damn.
So she,
Wow.
yeah, I know. I think that is this one from Enola 2, this picture? Because I went and did like, I think it is. I did like a tiny stint on Enola 2. But for Enola 1, where I was literally doing it for 3 months, she was 15 and technically then still a child. And so, she could only do child hours, which are quite small in a day, and she's the lead, so she's in every scene. So they needed an actor to come in
Oh,
who
stand in.
looks. Yes.
Oh,
So
wow. Shit.
I was her
That's
kind of
crazy.
body double, acting double, stand in, the whole shebang. And yeah, so
So did you
they
play
were
off
like, yeah, you
Henry?
I did. Yeah, I did. Um
Shit.
I know, which was weird.
What's that like? Yeah, I was
And
gonna.
then stalked him to The Witcher. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm
know.
here again.
Yeah.
Nah, we were in different storylines. But
Yeah, yeah.
uh yeah, that was intense. And Sam Claflin as well, who's lovely. Helena Bonham Carter. I sat next to her in makeup, but I don't think we really did a scene together. Like they tried to use Millie obviously for as much as possible. And then it was just, they'd kind of shoot all of her stuff, and then if she had to go home for the day, they'd be like, right, Rebecca, you're on. So it was basically like I was her understudy, but yeah,
Did you find
but
it fun?
never.
I'm curious. Did you enjoy your time on it?
I did. I'm glad that I did it, especially at that time, because like we were saying about massive productions, this was like multi-million dollar production. It was gigantic. And so to get the experience of being on such a huge set without the pressure of actually having your face on camera
Yeah.
was great. So I took it as like a major learning experience, and I got to meet some awesome people. And so I did. I had a great time. There is something as an actor, of course, it's going to be slightly soul destroying when, you are performing these scenes every day. I, would go home and learn all of her lines that she was learning for the next day. Um,
Wow.
and then you don't get any credit at the end. But like you just kind of have to take that on the chin and take as all the other stuff out of it that you can, which was like the crazy epic experience of getting to be on that set and meeting all of those people. And then I did The Witcher afterwards, and I do think that if I hadn't had this experience, sitting on The Witcher set would have been like really daunting.
Too much.
Whereas
Nearly. Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
actually, if anything, being like doing 3 months in Enola, I was just like, okay, I'm ready. Yeah.
That must have taken a lot out of you, though. That would have been full on. Like you would have been stuffed at the end of each day, especially learning the lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think actors are treated very well when you're filming. Like you have a driver and a hotel, they pick you up in the morning, they give you breakfast, and they do all of that stuff for a reason so that you can just focus on the performance that you have to give. Whereas obviously I didn't have any of that. So I was turning up the crack of dawn with the rest of the crew, um, getting then into hair and makeup kind of before so that was just done, and then still having to know all of the lines and still perform, and then driving home at the end of the day for however many hours, depending on where we were filming, because we were doing we filmed in so many amazing like stately homes and stuff around London. So it
Wow.
was full on. I was quite tired towards the end.
Thanks for sharing
It was
that.
great.
That's really, really interesting stuff.
Mm. It's little baby Becca. Oh wow. Yeah. I must have been 16. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Shit.
Um,
Oh, wow.
I think I was 16. Um, and
Was
that I
acting on the
used,
cards at this point?
oh, for sure. I
Yeah.
used this. This is so embarrassing. I used this as my first headshot. Um, which
Hey,
you shouldn't do.
why not?
Um,
Besides the hat.
I've got a hat on.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
the hat might be a problem, but yeah. Besides that.
Um, but I think I used this. So for Star Wars, when they were doing the open casting for the new Star Wars, um, I used this headshot to stand in the queue at the open casting for hours, hand it over, and I got to audition for Ray, which was cool.
Wow, really?
Yeah, there was like a
Shit.
few rounds,
I
and
was gonna
I at
say,
least
yeah,
got
you would fit that
yeah
character. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we watched the film, and my mum was like, "No, you're too spindly." I was like, "Thanks, mum." It's true.
No, she did a fantastic job. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um.
I love this. I want to play this game more often in my general life. This is like such a fun trip down memory lane. Okay. This was from when I first moved to London. I got a job as I'm going to say children's presenter on YouTube. Um, it was an unboxing channel,
Wow.
where I was the presenter. So I'd be like, "Hey kids, so today we are going to unbox this Barbie." Um, but I also voiced. Oh, so maybe this was kind of technically my first voice job. There was like a little, gosh, what like teddy bear angel cartoon thing called Lily, who I could edit into like the four corners of my screen so she could like fly up and talk to me. But I also voiced her.
And what did she sound like, by the way?
I think she sounded like, was she American or English? I can't actually remember.
She sounded different to what you sounded, right? There was a
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. She was like a proper squeaky cartoon character, like, what are we gonna do today?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that kind of thing. Classic.
Love it.
But I ended up with, I mean, this is like a small fraction of the toys that I had in my house.
Mm.
I had so many. Uh, Luckily, I lived. This bit is taken in my, yes. This was when I was in Wood Green, where I was living in like the attic room, and so there was like a little staircase going up and up, and so all of these toys were in that little area. Otherwise, I think my housemates would have been like, "Please desist. Can we get rid of some of these?
So
Thank you."
are these videos still on YouTube?
They must be, unless the company's taken them down, because I was hired to do this. So which was great. I got to play. It's called Lily Unwraps Toys. Lili. Why am I telling you this? This is prime fun time embarrassment. I love it. Oh, it is. It is here.
It is?
So Tada Kids I think is the channel. Is it?
Tada Kids.
Tada Kids Friendship TV.
Oh, okay. I found it. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So that would have been I would have started it in 2015 and finished it in 2016. So like coming up for 8 years ago. Yeah.
And that was just a short stint?
It was a year. I did it for a full year.
Wow.
And then I got the call to be like, we're scrapping the channel. Like that's fair. But thanks for the fun times.
Ooh. Creepy.
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 This is from The Unfamiliar, which is a horror film that I did 20 I'm gonna say 2018, 2019.
2020.
2020. Oh, well, it would have come out in 2020, but we would have filmed it slightly before that. Yeah. Yes, I play this. I mean, it kind of gives it away. Like, I mean, I feel like this is like all over. This is on IMDb, and like that gives the story away. It's because she's meant to be like, oh, she's just the daughter of this guy, and then it's like, oh, she's possessed.
So do you have full on scenes where you're fully possessed and?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think the toughest one was there's a scene where we're at this like lagoon, which was amazing. They built it. It was like indoors at this kind of like diving studio. So we all had to have like diving lessons and go all the way down to the bottom and what have you. And I had to like pretend to be like stuck down there and then rescued. It's full on filming in water. But there was a scene where the woman playing my stepmom, Jemima, I'm like possessed, and so she's doing this kind of exorcism thing in the water. But I had my hands and my legs bound, and there was like a platform, but it was clear in the water so that she could walk out onto it. But obviously, she then couldn't see where the platform ended. And I think she just walked out that little bit too far and like slightly missed her mark and just went, whoa! I'm just there like, oh shit.
Shit.
But this is like,
oh my goodness.
you know, one, I'm a very competent swimmer, so that was great. I was fine. I didn't panic. And two, like the divers there are like hawks. They're just constantly watching, and that's why they're there, health and safety. So they just immediately dove in and were like, nope.
That is still a bit, gets the heart pumping a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Acting possessed in any situation is really a lot. It's a lot on the body. There was definitely a scene where I swear I almost fainted, just because you have to do it again and again and again, obviously, like with anything in filming, and then eventually you just kind of have to call it. You're like, I'm gonna vomit, so I need 5 minutes. I'm not being a diva. I just physically can't do this anymore. But that baby, I've completely forgotten her name. Because gosh, she'll be like,
so it's a real baby. Because
you
know how there's some movies where they use a fake baby?
No, this is a real baby. Yep. And she didn't have a twin. It was just her the whole time.
Damn, and she was commitment. Yeah.
Like the most chill, lovely baby ever. Like you could do she would never look down the camera. It's though she was a professional. She'd done this her entire life.
Literally.
Like you can see that it's gross, bless her. I'm like putting my finger in her mouth. It was very clean. But you know, because I'm trying to like channel the evilness into her or something. And she's just there like, yeah, okay.
Damn.
You're amazing.
That is good.
I'll have you, please. Yeah.
That's actually kind of rare, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, super rare. I'm so intrigued.
There's only a few more. Don't worry.
Hey! Yeah, this was last year when I just decided. I was like, I wonder if I can do that. And
I'm telling you now, I couldn't pull that off. No way.
Yeah, so over lockdown, what I did do was get very fit. I like focused all of my energy into like doing HIIT workouts. Probably to my detriment slightly. I went a bit too far. You can become obsessive with anything, and I think especially over lockdown when all you have is time, I went deep into that. And so last year I was just like, we're gonna gradually come out of that, and we're gonna start doing slightly more just like slower strength-based things, which is like Pilates and yoga, and you still do your cardio and what have you, but it's just a balance. And so then I decided to try this, and I thought I would get some really funny kind of bloopers. So I think this is just a screenshot because I filmed it of like just me falling over that I could send to people as like a laugh, and then I was like, I can actually do it. I don't know if I can still do it, but that was a good time.
And last one, first day.
Yay.
First day.
Was that my first day? I mean, very possibly, because I would have wanted to have taken a picture, because that would have been really special at the time. Yeah. Oh, I was so excited to be there. I mean, if this was back at the beginning, then yeah, that would have been like 4 years ago. So it's the general just light and joy behind the eyes. Oh, it's just the suit. Very happy to be there.
The suit is it is bizarre. I mean, but you have to wear it, don't you? You know, that's how they capture the animations and everything. But you don't have the face rig on there, do you?
So I never had to wear a face rig. Anyway, they didn't capture my face. So if you've seen a picture of the face rig, that is for a different game.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, this was they didn't take any likeness, but they film you the whole time and do send it to the animators so that I guess they can take what they want from your facial expressions while you're saying the words, but they're not using your likeness.
Did you work with
Yeah.
Beth or Josh?
Beth Park,
Yeah.
yes, and Josh
Yeah.
Weeden, yes.
I just had him on the show.
Um,
Yeah, I was just curious if you'd work with them.
yes. They are just wonderful. I mean, everybody at Pit Stop is so lovely. It's yeah. I absolutely adore that studio. I'm back for something else this week, next week.
Oh, nice.
Which it's one of my favorite ones to go into. It's like going home. But it's just such a fun creative space.
Did you have Jennifer English direct you at all?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah. She
Wow.
directed a few sessions. I was just like, and she is just the nicest person. We had great sessions. Yeah. Aliona, her girlfriend, directed me as well. She was
Oh,
wonderful.
she did. Yeah. So you had
Mhm.
everyone. Lucky ducky.
Yeah. I know. Neil Newbon directed
Oh,
me
you
for
got
a
Neil
session
too.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like got yeah. You never really knew who you were going to get. I think, they've got kind of three main mocap studios and then one that they can use in an emergency. And so, on really busy days, they could technically kind of have like all of them on the go. And so it is just who's free to direct? No, I'm sure it was way more organized than that, but you need a lot of directors. So yeah, I got to work with so many incredible people. So lucky.
How have you found the fan art that comes out of this game? The incredible art.
People are so talented.
Yeah.
And it's a skill that I do not possess, which is such a shame. My grandpa was an artist and it did not pass down to me. So no, like the art that has come out for Alfira is just breathtaking and just so unbelievably varied from like, you know, almost really adorable kind of manga style characters to I saw one the other day that was almost like a dark chalk drawing
Oh, wow.
where she was and she was just so clearly in pain. It was like her inner turmoil. And it was just so like visceral. And just and then the whole spectrum in between. It's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I've got a few more fan questions before I let you go.
Great.
In your experience, Rebecca, are there any challenges unique to mocap that you haven't come across in traditional acting or voice-over work?
Any challenges specifically for mocap? Well, I mean, I guess the having to come back to your base pose at the end is always a little bit of a challenge, especially if you're screaming in somebody's face because they've really annoyed you, and then you have to find a way to naturalistically make it back to like the position that you started in without it making it look like a computer character being like blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So that was a bit of a challenge. And then also because I do quite a lot of like kids voices for other things, but also in BG3. So I play a handful of kids, including Yenna, and I think the tough thing of having to then find the physicality for the child as well as the voice really adds a whole other element to it. And that was really fun to explore. But yeah, definitely a bit of a challenge.
I'm guessing they didn't tell
Um,
you that you were going to transform into Orin, because there was a scene, I believe, where you transform, but I'm guessing they wouldn't have told you that. Yeah.
they um they did. I mean, because I feel like
Maybe?
I knew there was something to do with Orin because we were having to play so on the line between like is is she evil? Is she
Yes.
really cute and sweet and innocent? And so that was quite hard. So, but yeah, I can't fully remember all of those sessions and the exact outcome. And yeah, they sometimes they feel no need to tell you the entire full story because you'd be there forever. It's very much like, right, what are the lines we're focusing on today?
The
Let's just do
context
those.
of the scene. Yeah. That
Yes.
sounds
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
get that balance of you can't tell
Hmm.
if you can trust this kid or not. Yeah. What was your favorite memory from recording at Larian or at Pit Stop?
My favorite memory. Um.
And also
Oh, that's
favorite
really
scene.
hard.
Favorite scene as well. You
Ah.
shot.
Okay. They're probably combined uh because whenever my favorite memory and scene really is when we were filming with the stick lute. Um, so they tried a few different things. Um, they tried to give me a ukulele
Oh
to
wow.
hold. But obviously, like it has strings and it's quite difficult to act and just move at all without making any noise on the ukulele. Um, because as soon as there's like a doing, it's like, well, that's that
That's
takeover.
out. Yeah.
So the ukulele was quickly taken away from me and replaced with a stick with bobbles on it. Um, and and I
Uh,
what and that was great fun, especially because I have to then look as though I am playing the lute, and so like kind of doing chords
yeah.
on a stick. Um,
Oh, you look
and
great.
and
I tell
and
you what, you look fantastic.
it worked. Well,
Yeah.
that's all thanks to all of the clever animators and engineers and everybody else on the other side. Um, but but yeah, all of the stuff that we got to do with that was really fun. I wish that I'd taken a picture. You know, when you're in the
I
moment,
know.
um,
I know.
and also you don't want to be that person. Like everybody's there doing their job, and it's all very normal to them, and you don't want to be that person being like, ah, "This is a great spot. Can I take a picture? Can I have a selfie?" So you're just like, "No, I am also very professional, and this is entirely normal. I don't need a picture."
Oh yeah, 100%. So how much of that actual cut scene, that song cut scene, the Weeping Dawn,
Mm.
how much of that is you actually the movement? Because it's like a 5 minute piece.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. And I don't know.
Okay.
'Cause I'm trying to think if we even
Because I can't imagine
if
you'd sit there and do that for 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
I do think I sang the whole song at one point.
Oh, okay. Right.
Even just as bits that they could kind of take and put in different places. Because you can have quite a few interactions with her, especially like on Samantha's stream, Carlac plays as Carlac. Her interaction with Alfira is probably one of the longest I've seen when you first meet her at the Druid's Grove, and there was like a fair amount of singing in it. I was which was nice. Um, so yeah, and I can't remember though if I did do
I feel like
sang
someone
the whole
said
song from
that
beginning
they.
to end.
Sorry to cut you off. I feel like someone
No.
said that they heard your singing in the game somewhere at one point. At one point, your
Oh yeah,
full
you.
song.
Oh, the full
Yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah. Not the snippet, the
Um,
full song. Yeah. Someone claimed. I don't
Interesting.
know if they. I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, maybe if somebody finds that, please send it to me. Um,
Yeah, please do.
uh,
Yeah, please send it to us
yeah.
if that is a
So,
thing.
but I, do- I don't know how if that was all my movement or if the animators just kind of took bits from
Took
other
bits.
places and made the. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Can you play the lute in real life?
No, I'm sorry. I'm letting everybody down. I cannot. I cannot play the lute. I wish I could. What a cool instrument.
No question. I just want to compliment Rebecca's voice work. Alfira is my favorite NPC in the game. Simply, it is a delight to converse with her. The credit goes to Rebecca and Larian, who wrote and designed her, of course. Thank you.
Thank you. That's so kind. Thank you.
I love Alfira. She's one of my favorite NPCs. It just keeps going. I could sit here all day complimenting you, Rebecca.
That's so nice.
What was your funniest or weirdest voice line that you remember?
Funniest or weirdest voice line?
You got to understand, guys, it's 4 years of work. To remember a line is very tough when there's so many.
um, the day or few days where we were recording Alfira being slightly tipsy or slash drunk in the tavern. That was great fun. Um, I can't remember all of the lines.
No.
But just the fact that, because you're also doing mocap, so you get to fully like physically just be a little bit woozy. Um, as Alfira, who's normally quite, she's quite put together. So that was fun, getting to see a different side of her. Yeah, that was, but also kind of strange. I was like, this feels different.
What would you is there something you wanted to get across with the character? Is there something you'd like people to take away from her at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the fact that she can come across as so sweet and fragile, um, and yet the amount that she has been through and the amount that she can do is immense. And I think it is that never judging somebody from perhaps your initial meeting of them, or how, if they present as quite introverted or shy or low on self-esteem or self-belief, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are not a strong person. If anything, they have more to battle, because they've got their own mind, to overcome, as well as all of the other things. And sometimes they are the strongest people.
And last one is, would you say that's where you resonated with her the most, that particular thing? Or was there another thing that you feel like you two have got really in common?
Yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
As well as maybe,
You're both
I
legends.
love, yeah, I love her optimism. I think no matter what has happened or continues to happen, she always somehow manages to see the bright side and
Mm.
keep going and focus on something else that is good. And I think that that's such a useful skill, and one that I do try to harness, is to always look on the bright side, always see the positive spin of things. And also, like, forgiveness. I think, you can be quite mean to her early on, and then you can redeem yourself. She doesn't just automatically go like, I am never talking to you again, goodbye. You have a chance.
Oh, well, you've probably heard this as well, romancing. Everyone wants to romance her as well. I mean, these are all compliments. You must be very proud to hearing all this
It,
positive stuff come through.
it's so lovely.
Yeah.
And something I definitely wasn't expecting. When you voice an NPC, it's great fun, but you don't necessarily expect this kind of love for them and this kind of reaction. So yeah, it's really lovely. And hey, I would love to do more. I adore Alfira, and if they were like, would you come back and voice her again, I'd be there in a heartbeat. So yeah.
Anything you want to say to the fans that have tuned in today?
Um, Thank you so much for watching me waffle. And thank you for your kind words. It means so much. Thank you for your artwork. You're just stupendously talented, and just what a lovely community, like, that has sprung up around this. Everybody is so supportive, and I feel very, very lucky to kind of to be a part of it. So thanks for having me, basically.
Oh, it's one of the best gaming communities I've ever seen. So
Yeah.
thank you everyone watching as well. Brilliant. We can find you Instagram, TikTok, Twitter.
Yes, yes, all of the above.
Beautiful.
I think I'm just Rebecca Hansen on everything. Apart from Instagram, where it's Rebecca.Hansen, because somebody already had Rebecca.
Oh,
The hard.
God. Don't you just hate that?
Other people with the same name, not allowed.
That's why I couldn't get any Dan Allens, because it's the most generic name of all time. So
No.
I just said, okay, let's just add gaming at the end. And there you go. Got all of them. That's simple.
Well, exactly, and it makes sense. Then you're
And it makes
what a good
sense.
IP.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Before I let you go, can we hear Alfira can she come alive and talk to Dan as we end this?
Let's. Is there something specific you'd like me to say, or just be her for the end bit?
Whatever you want to say to Dan as the character.
Okay. Get my tongue into the right place for this English accent. We love it. Where are we going? Waterdeep? Neverwinter? Thank you so much for having me. This has been utterly wonderful. And I hope to see you again in Baldur's Gate.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This has been brilliant.